What up, everyone? This is Nicholas Holt.
And I'm Jacob Holt, and this is the Holt Perspective.
Here we go. Here we go. I feel like we need to start by having maybe the best Instagram post read off.
Gotta give kudos to Brute.
So after the World Fitness Finals, Brute posts a picture of the two podiums, saying it's a proven fact that we caused some mayhem this weekend. Glad to see hard work pays off. Oh, it was so good. Because, I mean, they just swept it. 4 out of 6 podium spots.
When you have 4 out of 6, you kind of can say what you feel like.
You can say whatever you want. Oh, it was good. It was awesome watching the World Fitness Finals. It was cool watching all those dudes and girls just go after it.
It was a fun weekend. There were
Yeah.
crazy snatch numbers throughout.
Crazy snatch numbers, crazy fitness shown. I hope the World Fitness Project keeps it up. I think it's awesome for the sport.
Just to get more competitions out there that are at that high level. Because
I just hope they can fix their mistakes.
Yeah, right.
That's the big thing. We've talked about it. There's just too many little things that go wrong that just need to stop in order for them to be where they need to be.
No, to be treated like a professional company, you got to act like one first, and
you should probably spell words right.
Spelling is helpful to make yourself look professional.
Or just
knowing who's in the country of that,
Yeah, maybe
it's helpful.
Danielle Brandon to pick to win an event when she's not in Europe at the time.
It would be much more impressive if she did win that one.
Yeah, man, that's just such a bad look for that guy.
Yeah.
It's a handstand workout, so Danielle's got to win.
Yeah. That's just showing. It's like anybody could have said that. So you just show that anything that he says throughout the week, he's just gonna go off the base. Yeah. If it's running, let's go for Jeff. If it's strength, gotta be Guy. It's like, okay, dude. Thanks for sharing your piece.
They can do better, but it was cool. Congrats to everyone. Boys Interrupted. We're still ready to get on your show whenever you want us over there. So we started the podcast first. So
we did start it first. So
it is what it is.
We've not saying we
too the Media Mountain.
Exactly. Hey, not saying that we gave them the idea to start a podcast, but we did do it first.
Facts are facts.
Uh-huh.
All right, so today, big thing that we're going to talk about is how many Metcons you should be doing. And we're going to go kind of through lots of different types of athletes, lots of different types of goals. We're going to kind of start off with, the type of athlete first. So we're going to go with, the younger athlete, who maybe we'll just kind of go the one that we're most resonant with because we're ex-athletes, sports-wise. They were in team sports. They were in cross-country. They were in something like that. They're trying to find a niche. They found CrossFit early 20s, and they want to be competitive.
Yeah.
If you're that kind of person, Kobe, what do you think? How many Metcons should you be doing a week? How many times you should be working out? Go ahead.
Think Metcon wise, that person should be doing, depending on what their life allows, anywhere from 4 to 6. That's someone where if they're used to competition lifestyle and they've done it their whole life, but they haven't worked out competitively, they got to get used to what a Metcon feels like. So you got to think about it like in any other sport where, when you're a little kid, you're not sitting on a tee forever. At least I hope your dad's not having you sit on a tee forever and just doing that. That's going to be helpful. If you just work on a base, it's going to be helpful, but you really understand the sport. You understand what's going on by playing the game, by doing the Metcons. The Metcons, like, yes, they'll always, for the most part, in a competition, there'll be a strength piece to it. Like, there'll be one lift in there. But if there are 5 workouts or 4 workouts in a day, all but one of them are Metcons. Like, they're all Metcons besides maybe the strength piece. And sometimes they just weave in a heavy barbell and don't have a sole lift. There's always going to be Metcons in a competition. So the more practice you can get doing the sport and doing the Metcon, which I would say is the sport, the better when you're getting into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm even gonna push that number to like 5 to 7, 6 to 8.
If yeah,
Um, if you are interested in the sport and you want to see if it's for you, first off, when you're earlier in the sport, you're not going to be as sore just because you're younger. It's not like where even I started doing it when I was 21, 22 years old. Like I'm more sore now as like a
Mhm.
29-year-old than I was when I was 22. Just the
Yeah,
way your body works, and it's only going to get worse.
yeah,
So you're not going to get as sore as much. Um, but also be like you can go sit at the tee forever, like you were saying, but at the same time, you need to go play the sport. You need to go get just exposure to it. You need to like fail in workouts. You need to figure out what works well, what doesn't work out well.
hmm,
You got to do it. Yeah, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. When you're younger and you want to get into the sport, I'm all for like overdo it. To be
yeah,
completely honest,
yeah,
like do it, and then rein it back, and then be
right.
like, okay, this is what my body can handle. This isn't what my body can handle.
Because if you
First,
want to be like, if you want to be competitive with it, if that initial overdoing it is too much for you, then down the road, you're not going to do that continued training to actually be competitive in the sport. You're not going to want to. If that initial overdoing was like, okay, that turned me off, then maybe just working out and fitness and class CrossFit is great for you. And class
yep.
CrossFit is awesome. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a great methodology of how to just get better and live a physically fit life.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking in the fitness competition world
Right.
of it and
Yeah, and
actually
I think
being
we kind of
competitive.
we kind of hit two different types of athletes after that. Like, after you've exposed yourself and you're like maybe late 20s, early 30s, and you still want to be competitive, that's when you're able to rein things in and really focus
Mhm.
on, specific things.
Right.
Hit some specific EMOMs, hit some specific, like, the sport by then. So then you only need 3 to 4 to maybe 5 Metcons. Now, if you want to go CrossFit Games, obviously a whole different story, but
Mhm.
um, then you're gonna continue doing all those Metcons. But even like those guys, they rein it back and they're like, all right, I'm going to be very intense with my workouts. I
Yep.
don't need to do all of these different kinds of workouts. And then, like
Exactly.
what you said there, if you're just looking for normal fitness, and it's an awesome methodology for that too. I'm thinking you only need 3 to maybe 5 a week.
For sure.
You get in class 3 to 4 times a week. Maybe you go on a
Hmm.
run once a week. Maybe you come in and you just do like some weightlifting once a week. You take a weightlifting class.
Yep.
Um, if you're just looking for regular fitness and just to be a healthy person, I think 3 is perfectly fine.
Yeah. There's no need
Maybe we
to.
should have talked about this in the beginning. When we say Metcon,
Mhm.
that means a metabolic conditioning piece. So that means you think of like a CrossFit Metcon, you know, 21 15 nines, 4 rounds for time, 5 rounds for time. That's what we're referring to when we say um, a Metcon. You got a barbell and you got some pull ups. That's what we're referring to.
Yeah.
Um,
That breathe heavy piece.
mhm, mhm.
That if, and that's where it's like you shouldn't be exceeding, honestly, probably more than 5 if you're in that realm of that 3 to 5 of
All right.
working in the class, because that's when all you're trying to do is get into the pain cave and hurt, but you're not trying to be competitive with it. Like, you just like that feeling, because some people like that feeling. Like, it's,
Addictive.
given the time, it is addictive. It's fun to feel that way.
Hmm.
But if you do that too much and you are not following the other parts of it to be competitive and to take care of your body, you're just asking yourself to get hurt.
Yep. Yep. That's a
And yeah.
It's a huge thing. When you go 5 days a week, every day of the week, and then you go and you don't take care of your body and you're not stretching and you're not mobilizing and you're not eating right and you're just like killing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a recipe for problems. Now let's get into like maybe a master athlete. So we'll kind of go two versions. We're going masters athlete that's um, going to be competitive,
Mm-hmm.
masters athlete that's going to be just trying to be healthy. So we're back to those kind of variation,
Yeah.
but now we're just a little bit older.
Right.
What do you think there?
So I think masters athlete, if you're trying to be competitive, you still want to hit that 3 to 5, maybe even 6 at times if you're feeling good. But it is completely dependent on the season, dependent on the year, where you need to pay more attention to when are your comps. Because as a masters athlete, as an athlete, unless you're a games athlete doing WFP now too with everything, like as just an athlete that's not elite, you have a specific season where you're competing, whether it's just the summer, or maybe like later summer into the early fall with, I know the Masters champions are in October. So you need to prep and build to that. And then I would say even around the time of bigger competitions, you are maybe only doing two two heavy like two strong Metcons, and then maybe one or two like easy on the body, like working to breathe, but you're not going to your throw up zone.
Right. Yeah.
And you want to save it. You want to save the bullets in your chamber for the actual competition and
Yeah.
not crush yourself in training.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's just super dependent on how your body's feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and what part of the season is. I think that the most dangerous competitive masters athlete is the healthy masters athlete. That goes for all competitive athletes. Like at the end of the day, if you're healthy, then you're going to be in your best. But especially for masters,
Yeah.
if you go into a competition banged up because you went, 3 months prep when you really only need 6 weeks prep,
Yeah.
um, that's not a good choice. So
No.
super dependent on the season. You have to pay attention and be like have a real off season,
Mm-hmm.
and focus in of like this is my in season. This is where I'm gonna be ripping it, and I have to like do these things even if it's kind of banging up my body. Um, all right, so now let's go into masters athlete,
Yeah.
not
Every day.
everyday athlete, like the bulk majority of everybody, right? Like
Right.
so many
Yeah.
masters athletes do CrossFit.
Yeah.
What do you think
I
there?
think you can. I think you can enjoy 2 to 4 Metcons a week. I would say a big thing that you want to focus on with your Metcons as a master's class athlete is try to not. You don't want to have super intensive workouts back to back days,
Hmm.
and you need to like you can choose that. You can go to class every day, like that's not an issue. If you go to class 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, that's fine. But then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Friday are the days where you're going to try really hard in those Metcons. And then the other 2 to 3 days, you are doing them. You're going to do them at maybe even a further scaled weight than the master's weight. You're going to do it at scaled reps or just scaled intensity. If the time cap's 10 minutes and you finish it, or if the or target time is 10 minutes and you finish it in 15 minutes or 14 minutes, that's okay for that day,
Yeah,
knowing that if you hit that Metcon on a Tuesday when you're going hard, you could hit that 10-minute target time. But this day, you're going to taper down to 12 or 13 minutes on it.
yeah, yeah. And I think that it just more than ever, that athlete needs to pay attention to their body so much. Like
Yeah.
if that day, for whatever reason, you start doing cleans and you're like, man, my right wrist just really hurts. That is not time for you to like push through right wrist pain.
There's no
Right?
reason to
Now,
push through anything.
if you say like, oh, I'm just kind of sore today. Well, okay, you can
Yeah.
push through some soreness, right? It's like, oh, I just need to loosen up my shoulders or loosen up
Hmm.
my hips. Well, yeah, I mean, we're not older, but we know what's
Yeah.
coming. Like
Yeah.
you're
I
gonna
mean,
get tighter. That's life. But if there's like an acute pain,
this.
there is zero like wrist is hurting, I'm going to sandbag cleans.
Yeah.
I'm not even like messing with the front rack,
No.
right?
No
Like
reason.
my knee hurts. Nope. I'm gonna go to, instead of a squat, I'm gonna do a lunge, or I'm
Right.
gonna do some sort of a different leg piece, or I'm just gonna
Hmm.
not squat today and be like,
Yeah.
nope, that's just, I'm not gonna do
We
that part
just
of the
yeah, no spot. No. Yeah, you gotta listen to your body. And a master's athlete, chances are, if you are a master's athlete, you have been doing some sort of fitness for a while. So you probably have a decent idea of how your body feels at certain things. You know that difference between discomfort and pain. Um, that's a big thing that people need to focus on. And where people do get hurt is that they don't know the difference between discomfort and pain. And then they'll just fight through one or another and fight through pain when they're just like, oh, it's just discomfort. And then they hurt themselves further.
Yeah.
You just got to know
So
that
what
difference and know when to
last
push.
thing, Toby, be in your PT self. Give the people, how is someone supposed to know the difference there? Because it's easy for us to sit back and say it, because I mean, at the end of the day, we don't, we're young, we're still younger guys. We don't
Mhm.
know what the masters athletes are going through, but we do know pain. So
Yeah.
last thing for the day, what would you tell someone to know, like, the difference between, okay, that's something you should push through, and that's something that you just need to listen to?
So one easy thing to think about of discomfort and pain. Pain is if you think of anything as sharp or shooting, that's going to be more of the pain. Or if you notice, like if I'm going through some range of motion and when I get to here, it's okay. But then once I see it right here, then that gets to like a super twingy spot, or it's like that's just not right, or I can't get that full extension. That might be into that pain point. But if it's just like lifting up, like, okay, this hurts, but it hurts at the same rate all the way through, I would say that that's more of that discomfort. So that's where getting some mobility work in beforehand, because that's also going to be a trial run of, all right, is this the same feeling throughout? If we're just showing for the arm right there, like, okay, discomfort, or is it, okay, this doesn't feel great, doesn't feel great, doesn't feel great. Oh, that really hurts. That's thinking more pain wise and something we want to step back from.
Right, right. Yeah, I think that's a great way to say it. Every situation is different, but I think that's great advice for sure. All right. Well,
Love
I
it.
think we hit a lot of different types of athletes. Hopefully, you
Yep.
listen to it. Um, looks like that's all we got.
Yeah.
My name's
Thanks for
Nicholas.
listening. And I'm Jacob. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.